just got done watching a guy who is trading with a confirmation entry. And I sincerely don't believe in confirmation entry. I hate to break his heart. I think I don't get it. Now he's trading the market manipulation point of the market, which is typically where there's a stop hunt, right? I mean, they need to get those orders and then take it the other direction. So I'm inside a strategy tester right now, playing back the 15-minute British pound. 15-minute chart, and I don't really need to go. I mean, I'm going to just trade it on the fly here. I'm not going to. I have a 10-pip grid up there. I'm not going to do the math on. I think he said there was a thing out there called, like, there's some testing program where you can put in actual trades, but you got to buy that. This is free. And on the weekend, or when the market's slow, say Asian session, you can practice trading. And I'm trading, he asked me what my strategy is. I say, my strategy is that I've got a couple, I guess. One is to buy the outlier, the black swan, on a limit. And the other is, so there's, I guess, two styles, I would say. I'm either going to trade a breakout of a quiet zone, realizing that there's a possible stop hunt just before the breakout. But I'm going to run a different size orders during that time. So when the market's wild, I'm going to run a wider stop with a wider take profit. And when the market's quiet, I'm running a tighter stop. Not too much, maybe from 10 pips to 50 pips is my stop. So 50 pips would be the swing trade, or I really don't trade much with the euro, but British pound here. I put this up, and I'm only plotting the bid price on the playback here. The ask, of course, I'm imagining there's no spread in a perfect world. And I don't know what the spread looks like, 3 pips here. So earlier on the 15-minute chart, now I know he's using this kind of, he's going out to the high of the day and the low of the day. He's looking for these key levels. Now, I just watched about 5 videos of his, and one thing I must say, that every trader is different, right? This guy is, nobody's going to accuse him of overtrading, let's just say. The problem I have is that, it's not enough trading for me. Now, if you had a list of orders, which I've got a list of orders here, inside my navigator. Now, I'm going to build some more of these this weekend. And some of these are obviously scalps, and some are going to be, they're going to be like a swing trade thing. Now, inside of my scripts, for instance, all of these here, see, this is risk 10 pips to make 30, and this order lasts for 12 hours, and doesn't matter whether it's on a fiber. I posted these in the script trading thing. It doesn't matter whether that's a 5-digit broker or a 4, because it's going to adjust here. This is, I don't know, some kind of adjustment. Your digits 4 or 5 doesn't matter. It normalizes it in the math in here. But I never touched that math, and I don't know. It's just like if your car runs, why reach under the hood and redo the spark plugs and try to come up with a new pattern, right? The spark plug wires off the rotor. But and then this is a slippage. I always leave it at 3. I gave the script to somebody, and they just couldn't help but adjust everything. I just leave that at 3. I don't know what the hell it means. Maybe that's a spread. I don't know. And this is 10K, right? So you can adjust the size. This is all you worry about, right? And the one thing on here that is no longer, I don't know where I got the script somewhere. Some guy posted it, but here's the critical thing. How long does it last? So now if you're going to, say you want to scalp, you want to set that at 15 minutes or half hour, you can't go slower than 15 minutes, because the brokers just won't look at your orders. They won't take an order that lasts 5 minutes. And they can last all day. But this is a trade plan, a trade strategy. This is to make 3 times your money, right? You risk 10 to make 3. You can make one that risks 10 to make 40. Another contention I had with this guy is he's taking one position at a time. Now, I think that I don't want to try to profile this guy, but something must have happened to him in his childhood, right? I mean, everybody's shaped. In other words, people approach the market with all of this stuff in their head, if they've ever been betrayed, burned, whatever. And a lot of the stuff that is taught, and I agree, he shows in one of his, well, actually on his website, he has a tape where he describes all the stuff people have learned, and all that stuff does work, actually, if you have the patience and you have a belief in, confidence in that it works, right? So the market's exploded here. Now, on this explosion here, I can't look to the left, but it probably went up and, grabbed some stops here. Now, his technique is, if this was a key level right here, imagine this was his stop hunt level, he's going to wait for confirmation, and the most elaborate, precise. Now, this is probably because of his personality, his upbringing, whatever he's experienced in his life. He's built a system with confirmation. Now, I don't look for confirmation when I drive my car. I get in it, I go. I just trust the brakes work. Now, when the brakes started fading a couple weeks ago, I said, you know what? I got to approach it differently, because they're fading and I got to find the leak and all that drama. So he's waiting for confirmation. It's going to go up, and then he's going to get a bearish candle that closes in the lower third. I mean, it's so complicated of an entry. But of course, like, I can't help but criticize everybody I meet, and certainly criticize myself all day long. For, of course, if you do it too much, you fall into depression, right, and then you just blow your brains out. But see, now he would have made money on this trade. I don't know if it fitted his confirmation of them coming up and grabbing that and then pulling it down. But in my estimation, and this is why I just call myself simpleton, because I would just have a limit here at the last known time top. Now, that's not a wick top, because that wick could have happened at any time. But on a time top, I just put a lughead moron, with a 10 pip stop, right? So I made money, right? And I guess in a way that's my confirmation. If the market comes back up into my sell limit, right, I enter on confirmation. Or I would just actually sold this wick up here if I looked to the left and saw that there was some, stop hunt in order. Now here's another thing that I like I say, I've been trading like 10 times a day on a 15-minute chart. He's trading once, if he's lucky, on a 15-minute chart, looks like to me. Now here is a painfully obvious trend line that you created off of this, right? 1, 2, all these touches on here and all these fake breakouts, I'm buying every one of those, right, at the market or on a limit, because I've got a limit sitting down at the shoulder. If this is the head and this is the shoulder, boom, I'm filled on that one, just for a retest. And I don't want to overcomplicate anything, because, and here is another situation where a limit order here wouldn't have got filled necessarily, because it's a little bit snug, right? But that is the floor that becomes a ceiling. But now we come back into the, so what would you do now, right? Well, if I thought I missed this move here to the upside, I would definitely put a buy limit here. Now, I might have got stopped out, right, for a 10 pip stop on that. But what if I put an order, and there's a lot of trades on here, because of the fact that it's a 15-minute chart. But what if I bought the internal? Now, the nice thing about a line chart is there's not a lot. This is a one-period moving average exponential on top of just bars. there's not a lot of places to get in. You know, I mean, if you're going to buy the retest of this low, that is a low, right? So we know that's a valley. And look how they came in there twice to get that, right? The market revisits price again and again. And then this, I can leave this extend into the future. And this could be like, say, my moving average. Now, he had a moving average on his screen. He never talked about it. And I don't even know why, you know, people have that. Unless it's part of their trading plan. But it's bad enough that I'm over trading. I don't want to put in other stuff that I have to make a decision about. Now, we're probably going to take out the high of this thing here. But it's how we get there, right? Now, if they come back, if I don't want to buy the breakout here like and expose myself to either putting a stop down, you know, either I have to put a stop down here. Now I'm going to risk 20 pips. If I get on a breakout of this, I'm going to risk 20 pips. Or do I put a buy limit here? Now I don't know what the playback of this is because I haven't watched this. But what if I put a buy limit down its support, and if I don't get filled, you know, no harm, no foul. Now right here, I've just got a top. I could place a buy limit here. That breakout hasn't come yet. I'm going to stretch this out. I don't know. Strategy tester, you pay attention, otherwise this thing's going to walk right off the chart. But if you drill down here, and this is a perfect world because there's no spread. But if you had a buy limit, say here, you didn't get filled. Now, as time goes on, this thing's definitely itching to take out the high. But if I put a buy limit here, another thing is like I say, he's trading one position. I'd be looking here to take this and place it. If I'm looking for a 40 pip bounce off of this, I just place them down in here, right? Because we could come ripping all the way back down in here and then take off. Seen it a million times, right? Now they weren't able to get out there. Now the guys that sold up here at resistance, they took their 10 pips and ran. But okay, I'd be getting filled right now if I had a buy limit here. And I'm trading so small on all these orders, but they all add up, right? Okay, so my buy limit down here might get filled, right? If I got stopped out of that with a 5 or 10 pip stop, but look at, come down into this wick. Now, the other strategy is to place your orders on the edge where the stops are. Right? So if you're going to buy just below that, but I'm going to put mine on the there's two ways to look at it, right? It's either going to be time or it's going to be space. It's going to be how much space did this thing fill, but when did it get there? So if I stick with my buy limit, crop of buy limits down here. And another thing is if time goes on and I'm not getting filled, and it looks like they're never going to make it back here, then I just buy at the market. But I try not to buy the market. Okay, so I'm getting filled here. Now I'm getting filled here. So I got 2, right? Now, on these, if you had a 10 pip stop, you stopped out of that first one, right? Maybe they're going to take it back to here. Come down here and grab this order. Okay, stopped out, right? But what if you're looking to make 100 pips? Do you really care about a 40 pip pullback? No, you're gobbling up all these orders because when they come down here and get this last guy's stop, I want that one too. So I'm putting this order down here, right? Now, if that's another reason why tight stops are okay for scalps, right? For a momentary trade, but not so good for swing trading. Now, if I would have put a 30 pip stop on all of these orders, right now, I made money on this bottom one. I made money here, blah, 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 blah. What this guy was doing, he's trading single positions. So he's got to be dead on, right? And he's not going to get a lot of trades. And I don't care if I lose 40 baby trades. Everything I do is baby. So if I'm putting 1 unit down here, and just painting on the screen, right? It's kind of like, now, okay, so now if you didn't take profits on that, this is also the place to get short because of this bottom here. This is a 15-minute chart, right? This stuff's happening. In other words, this support became resistance. Now, We're in free fall. I don't have any orders until we get down here. Now here's my buy limit. So I buy down here. And this should be a scalp of some type. And they just blew me out. Okay, so I let it go to free fall. I can't see to the left there. And I'm not going to chase it. I'm not going to get short. What I'm going to do, though, is I'm going to put a buy limit down here. And I'm going to put a buy limit. I'm just going to put random down here. And I'm sure there's somebody who could break out a fib tool and create a buy limit down there. But I don't know how much money I made on these trades. But I'm assuming that I made something, right? And I just can't imagine waiting for like on a 15-minute chart, waiting for it to take out the high of the day when you got all these. Now the guy that had the sell stop here, classic trading to put a breakout trade. Those guys are making money. So breakout traders make money, and you could have had a sell stop here with a tight stop. Now that's the other thing. When you drop one of these guys, if this is a buy and you put it here, it's going to be a buy stop. If you put it down here, it's a buy limit. And that's the nice thing about all these orders. So it's really about all of these trade plans. Doesn't really matter. I don't care that they stop me out there. If I'm buying, can't see the left too far here right now. But okay, this is like, I'm definitely going to have a buy limit just outside the edge here. Now this is about a 3 pip window here. So I bought that, right? Now the money I lost on these other trades, I'm making up now, right? And I have no confirmation on this, right? Maybe there was a confirmation for this guy because of this, right? He got the in the key level, came down, pulled back, and he got this closed in the third of the candle. I just think it's ridiculous. You're asking too much of the market at that point, and if that's your filter, confirmation, I just think confirmation's a joke. It's just a real. It's to be like. I don't know. I guess it would be like checking your side view mirror when you make a lane change, right? But I don't know if that's just. I don't know if that's analogous to just looking at your chart. I don't think a confirmation that your screen is working. I don't know. The other thing I do, which I haven't done on here, I have this trend line here. We broke that. Now, that was the rollover point. I have not changed that trend line, but notice that that's right about where that climaxed. Another thing is I create the down line, right? Whatever the slope. Now, this was the another thing here that I haven't put in here, which is the breakout, comeback, retest entry. And that just gives you the idea that, hey, well, the roads are, this thing's coming to a conclusion here. Now, the confirmation entry for me would be comes back and retests this top here, but we didn't quite get it. Now it's just hell bent on maybe getting back to where the bottom dropped out. But if I bought down here, I've already taken my 30 or 40 pips, right? This pullback here would have been my entry for let's see, let me take this off. Get more some screen here. Okay, now and I can draw my first trend line, right? Although this looks like it's going to hell, but at least I have that there. Now I have the down trend line. If I want to buy, I'm looking to get in before the break of this trend line. Or I'm anticipating that break, right? So this pullback here, I could have got in at this top. This top became a bottom. That would have been either pull at the trigger at the market, or I put a buy limit there. But I wouldn't put a buy stop above for the breakout because they already trapped this wick and they ripped it back. So that stop entry is my last resort. There's sometimes I would say, sometimes it's okay, but look at the stop entry here. They just grabbed you. Now you're down 20 pips on that, right? Better you should have bought this for the 10 pip scalp. Get the hell out. Now you reload here, right? You reload on that pullback. And these candles, you know, that's about the first thing to get rid of, you know. And I know a lot of people trade candles. I should put up a candle chart. I don't know if I get my brain around it because I want to see the peaks and valleys. I literally want to see the zigzag. Now, we broke the trend line, so a lot of guys are onto this already, right? But we could still pull back. So if I'm scalping all these bounces off of here, I have a buy limit sitting here for another reload. Okay, now they might just crush it through. Not always going to win every trade, right? But I've made 2 structured trades. Now we're going to come back and test this trend line. Now we are about to hunt down all these stops, possibly. Now I got a buy limit down here at the retest, right? Because I think this could cut back. I also have a buy limit here, but if they only last for 15 minutes or half an hour, that's another thing. This one here is going to last all day. This one's going to last all day. All the orders that are down in Disneyland are going to last all day long, right? And every 15 minutes. So now this looks like, yeah, they're going to try to grab the bull. That's the guy that's trying to ride this new trend line up here. The breakouts happen. Okay, that's the pullback to that's like a confirmation entry. We broke out, we pulled back in time. If you had another now you can't, after these are filled, of course, right? You've already made your money. But if this is the feeding zone, if this is the supply zone that they always come back and dip into the well here and get in, that's where I'm getting in. Just over and over again. The market doesn't have to go anywhere today. If all it does is create so-called noise, then I'm making money, right? Now, ideally, this thing's going to just take out and go blowing through the top of the day, right? But the sellers are going to come in here, obviously, right? This is the floor they got. They bought this floor thinking it was support and got burned. Now they're probably getting out now. I'd be getting out now. And I would put in maybe an order at this top now, because maybe we're starting to build a stairway. So I have a buy limit here, and then a buy limit here. But the idea we're going to come back to this probably is a dream. Now we're probably going to try to just push through all of these bears stops here, clean their stops out. They got stops up in this. We punch through this thing. Of course, the time of the day now, this is probably London Open. This is probably, this is end of Asia here. Smash now, whatever, US is open now, and now it's just off to the races, right? Maybe blow up, maybe come up here. But if I've already made all my money for the day right now, I've got a pending to buy here if we come back to the starting gate. And maybe I sold up into this for a scalp, right? Because that was really a lot of resistance up there. And yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's my strategy. I mean, it's kind of on the 15-minute chart, it's, I guess I'm a scalper. I don't think I'm a trend trader. I don't think I'm kind of swing trading it in a way. If you imagine this is a daily chart, I don't know, definitions are kind of weird, but I guess the scalps, the idea is there is you're just taking a little chunk out of the market, and a trend trade is like you're riding this enormous big pip move. But yeah, look, so this pullback here, if you were going to buy the top, this top become a bottom on wicks, you would have got in there. But I don't like to do that so much because then there's too many trades, right? This way, if you're only keeping your trades down to the line chart, you're not involved in this stuff, right? And certainly for the sellers, right, your sell scalps up there though, because that's based on the line. So you grab some there on that, right? They came up and they came into this floor here, but that's short-lived. It looks like they're hell-bent on taking this thing up. It just has that look to it. This is a 15-minute chart, and these patterns that go on, the patterns they really do work. They go on all day. Let me just copy some of these lines out here in the future. This is another thing, is if you hold on the control key after you highlight one of these, hold on the control key and just drag that over. Right now you can just create your own stairway that you can get a an idea of where this thing's going to walk through. Now I do this so I have an idea of what I can expect for the velocity, the pace of the market. If this is the last known support, I put that there, and then I'm going to drag this chart shift to the middle so I can kind of get organized and see that, we could come all the way back down into here, right? But orders that last for, say, an hour or half hour, you're not committing to too much exposure, right, in time. And okay, we're forming some kind of wedge triangle here. It looks like we could possibly break out either way, but market's getting quiet right now. It's probably we're coming near the end of the day, and not a lot of trades here. Like I said, this is a 10 pip grid, and I don't know, that's a thumbnail sketch of my strategy. It's crude, but and it involves a lot of trades, different sizes, different stops. Like I said, if you could have survived this plunge, you're already back to here. Now, I don't like to buy when it's caving into fresh territory like that, because it's usually going to be free fall. In other words, once it took out this, there's nowhere to really, until you get to about here, back in time. But if they're tight stops, it doesn't matter, and that's 15 minutes. You realize that all happened if your orders, this is a half hour sell-off. But buying into this to take it to here, that's not bad money. It's just unconventional. You're just not going to see anybody suggest that you don't wait for all of your this is the Asian side. We're just coming into so that's the close. This is where the market makers typically create their range, but this is still viable buy territory. But it's all about position sizing and where's your stop. But I just can't imagine trading twice a month, And of course, he's looking at more than just the euro. I'm just looking at the euro dollar, or one pair at a time, because there's so much going on in this chart that I couldn't imagine, unless I had a team of people going to all the different pairs. And this is pretty quiet in here. This is just for people that want to make 5-10 pips, But I don't know. I hope that's as an explanation. Of course, I'd have to talk to the person about their stuff. But to me, it's all about creating all these mini trade plans, and even this stuff here. All of this bombastic stuff is all tradable if you approach it properly. And here there's like 4 trades there, right? Keep retesting, and that the idea that the market's going to keep retesting is what creates the so-called noise that people complain about. But to me, it's just another opportunity. So I'm trying to look at opportunities where most people consider that to be. This is like, I was in my buddy's his antique shop, so I was in his house. He bought some old house. I go down to the basement. He said to me, "You see that panel that's holding the wires that come out of the breaker box?" He says that piece of wood is worth like $300. But back then, when they built the house, it wasn't worth anything. That kind of wood, they just use that stuff to put up like distribution panels on AC panels. It was not even. They're like, huh? Now it's the most sought after piece of wood in the world, right? Look at this thing trying to just sneak its way up higher. But here's an entry. There's a scalper stuff here, and just selling but the fake breakout, right? This is another thing. If you are going to trade on these wicks, the fake breakout, like having a sell order just at the edge. Now he had that going, but then he was waiting for the confirmation. I thought, well, just scalp that, right? Because you're going to trade one position. He's trading one position, so he's focused. He's locked. And this is all the stuff people bring from their life. If they're a scientist, that's why the people that are smart, these people that are really smart have a hard time making money, because they're like, oh, gotta have this all lined up. But look at that, they're hell-bent on taking that puppy north. But look, just before they went up, it came back to this this top here, and you can put in just a whole cluster and see that that's the big pivot, right? And just one last smash before that explosion. So this must be the opening of Europe here, and where they sell it. And this is really fast market stuff here. They just sold up into the bottom of that top. So that's the bottom inside the top, and this is the top inside the bottom. This is another big. I'm a big fan of this. This top inside the bottom. They're gonna come retest that. It looks like the British pound's gonna. Now here's the big deal, right? We couldn't get it. Within 1 pip couldn't get above that top there. So can you make it there now? Can you take out that top? And are you gonna sell on the fake out and then get in to go long when it pulls back deep into this supply zone? That's the question, right? So let's just see what happens here. Yeah, they're just itching to take out that top. May never make it. Of course, it's no harm, no foul. If you got a buy stop there or a sell limit there, I put the sell limit just outside the top there. I'm gonna come back and get more of these guys. So here's the triple top. I would have a buy limit there at that triple top right there, with a stop, 10-15 stop. Now we're looking to go take out the high of the day, right? So here's where we picked up some fuel. Maybe we can. Maybe it's going to come back and retest one more time. I watch these markets non-stop for a very long time. It seems like they just blew through that, so you got stopped out. Now you got to come down and grab all the stops that people have down here. So just beyond this borderline, you want to have a buy limit, right? Because you know that's where the bulls got their stops. So you got stopped out of that one, but you scalped that for 10. And if you had 2 orders in there, and that's why I just can't imagine not scaling in and out of these markets. Like if you scalp that and you got the one that's going to make more, and then you got a big crop of buy limits down here. But the British pound is notorious for this kind of behavior. Total stop hunt world, really. I mean, the euro dollar is nothing like this. So, and this thing moves a lot of pips, so you may not be able to run a 10 pip stop here. But now here you have your buy limit sitting at this previous high here, and you're scalping most of the time. You're just not going to make, like, if you sold the top up in here and you wrote it down, right now you're down. You could have got out down there. So it's very not a lot of trends. You could just sit back and relax, right? You have to take your money and run. You really have to take your money and run. Now we're looking for it to come back here. This was the bottom became a top, so if you wanted to put a 10 pip stop, but this is a lot of trading, right? You have a limit there, or you're pulling the trigger at the market. I'm looking for it to come down in this crop of orders I got down here, these buy limits. So I just got filled on this buy limit. Now I'm looking for a possible run back to at least to test the top of this high. But this could be a daily chart, right? I mean, you don't have to trade a 15-minute chart. There's a lot of trades. Okay, they're filling all these buy limits for me. And looking to come back up into this floor. All right. Now, if I go to the daily, if I go to the 4-hour chart, it's just not going to be. There's not that many setups. There's a ton of setups on a 15-minute chart, and there's more trading, and it's like, so they picked up these 3 tickets here, right? And they retested this again. And this is the supply zone, obviously, right? Come all the way back up to that floor. I'm going to cash out right about now, cashing out on everything I bought down here. So even in my stop outs, when it's all said and done, they could take out the high of the day now. This is very auction market. But when they came down here and they took out everything from this wick down to here, they picked up like 30 pips of, you know, just people that thought, well, it's going down, I'm selling, look, I'm on a trend, I'm selling, or they had stops, right? The bulls had their stops there. Now we could just go shearing out the high of the day right now. Maybe there's of course the news probably came out here, right? This was probably in anticipation of news. You get these kind of wedges here, but I'll draw a trend line. I'm looking. Another thing, it's not just pure levels. I have to have a trend line to break or a trend line to hold. Now if we come back and retest here, buy again. So it's very disturbing because the market doesn't go in a straight line, and there's so many chances. It's not like real life. There's a chance to marry your ex-wife 40 times, right, and divorce her 41 times. It's nothing like the real world. And so now I can draw my first uptrend line. If I'm going to speculate we're going to go up, it looks like they're not done smashing it, but you can draw your first trend line there, right? And you could have had a sell stop below that to get in on a break of that trend line. And then this here, I would copy that over. And this is the next trend line to break. This here, if that broke and now it's going to find support below, okay, now they're going to stop. They're going to go grab the guy that has a stop there. So I'm buying right there where they're punishing into his stop. Plus I got the breakout of this trend line and it found support there. This is severe divergence if it could have closed down there, but now it could just follow through. But I'm always scalping. I'm always taking my 10, 20, 30 pips with my 5, 8, 12 stop order. And I don't care if they stop me out. Just don't care. You know, I know I'm going to make it back because I just know how the market is hell-bent on just kind of taking out the low of the day, taking out the high of the day. So now we could go after the high of the day. But you can just play back Strategy Tester and ask yourself, you know, you can also run all your indicators in here too. You can create a template. I mean, I have a million templates here, right? So I can throw a template in on top of here, right? If you think that your template is so great, right? This is a Hakanashi, smooth Hakanashi template I created, right? And if you think this template's great, like, would you sell during that blue? Well, maybe you take only the rallies in blue, and you only take the sell-offs in this color here. And that'll be a trend filter, right? That's a trend system. Here, you kind of have to trade. This is why it doesn't. It's not a perfect world for the trend trader, because the trend trader could have got short here, right? It just started to turn that color, then it's deep blue. But you could still draw the trend lines here, right? You could still on close, right? Still got the 1 period moving average running, and then I can still do the levels of support and resistance. So I got this big support level here, and then I got this. This was the top, became the triple bottom. Here's a stop hunt. Got filled there, but look how it revisited, right? And of course, less. This is a 15-minute chart, so maybe you're going to pick triple tops and triple bottoms because that'll going to be a single bottom on the 1 hour. But here's a nice little top that became a bottom. That was the trend line break retest, and look at just itching to take out the high that day. I'm just going to speed this up one level, and then just let this play out a little faster here. There's some speed trading, but yeah, I don't know. Of course, there's the spread now. You can see it. 3 pip spread. This template's got it in there. But yeah, that's a 15-minute chart, right? And you can see that you can test out what you would do. You can't really do the actual. Now there's a break of a trend line on close, and it finds support. Break out this 1 period moving average, find support, enter there. Plus you're entering because of this little micro top in here. This little top became a bottom. And maybe you are looking for it to take out the high day. I am, just because it just has that look to it, like this is accumulation and they're just itching to take that out. We haven't been able to do it. We just keep on trying to get there, and then they just keep on pulling it back. Now it looks like maybe you could take it out, right? And this is, I suppose, where the patience comes in. Of course, buying down here after they did the big washout. See, but maybe they have to come back one more time. But I would have definitely taken profits that I bought down there. So always taking something off the table. And this thing about letting your profits run, I mean, there's so many bullshit myths and so many, God, I mean, let your profits run? Most of this market's range trading. 80% is range trading, right? You see this thing going anywhere? I mean, it's just back and forth, backfill, up, down. Okay, so buyers came back in here. Now maybe there's enough money to take it through the top. Maybe not. Maybe, I don't know where I'm at in the big picture, but maybe this is just nothing but a distribution getting ready to just mark it down, like in Wyckoff theory. This would be the redistribution phase, and then they mark it down, they mark it up. But we definitely got this. The stop entry guys are going to get in the breakout of this, right? They're going to get in. Let's drill down here. Okay, they just got filled, but they're going to maybe get their heads ripped off. The confirmation would be waiting for that pullback. See, now they just raped them. Now, this is the British pound. Let's face it. British pound's wicked. Nothing but stop haunts in the British pound as far as I'm concerned. Look how they just filled me here on this buy limit. I just scalped that. But look at this fake breakout. Now this was what this guy, he would have made money here, because his breakout comes down, his confirmation, then he's short, right? But look what happened to here. The guy that bought this on the low, wow, and must be news coming out right now. So this is when it gets insane, right? Look, they just took out the high. Now look what they did just before they took out that high. Look how they pulled it back, right? Look what they pulled that back to. Now that's the high, right? And look where they come down to. They make an attempt. They grab the guy or the robot that had a stop here. Right, they grabbed that stop, ripped it back all the way to the starting gate. Boom. Now, who was clever enough to see this double bottom here on the 15 and see this big supply zone and have a buy limit just sitting there? You may not have got filled, but when you got filled, not bad, right? And we kind of figured, I don't know where we are in time here, but you know, we kind of figured that, hey, you know, there's itching to take that, but how many times they had to do all accumulation, all these tickets, and just torture every retail trader to death or whatever, right? This accumulation, and then plunge through. Now, at this point, you know, I'm not touching it, right? I mean, like, if I'm not going to chase it, but even on the 15 here, if I was going to buy on pullbacks, you know, it's kind of frisky now. You have to place your buy limit here, say, right, and risk them just ripping it all the way back to the starting gate. And your trend bot is turned color here. Okay, now we're forming the infamous triangle. Maybe you're going to come all the way back to the breakout point. So it's safer to put your buy limit down here, because right here you just got filled. Now they're probably going to rape it back down to here. But you can draw your first... now you got a triangle forming here on close. But see, this time this time, since the market's so fast, you got filled on that limit. Maybe you scalped out of that, right? And it's always got to figure. You got to take, if you're going to buy, you're going to trade more than one position. Let's hope. So one's a scalp, one is a mid-level move, and one is like, you know, the thing goes to the moon. So even on here, if one of these was a, and even the guy that put a buy stop here, don't forget, if he put his protection down here, he got filled. He waited through that whole drama that lasted about a half an hour, and then bam, right? But I guarantee this is some news event. And okay, so that's why I had to scalp that, because look at that. But see how they came back and refilled that zone again, and you scalped it again. So it's just I guess I'm a scalper at heart, only because in a market that moves, especially a 15-minute chart market that moves like this, why would you want to sit in these trades for 3 days and I made 300 pips? Yeah, but you traded twice a month, man. You break even on the month. Yeah, I know, but I mean, okay, but maybe you're that guy. I'm not that guy. So it depends what kind of guy you are. And some people, you know, I mean, forget it. They're just afraid of money in general. Like I have people, I try to get them to trade, and they say, have you ever thought about trading currencies or whatever you want to call it? Trading, right? Just the word trading, they're already like, you know, I don't know anything about it. I'm like, well, that's great, because you don't have any bad habits, apparently. You know, I mean, you don't have anything. Look at this supply line again, right? Again, they're getting in there. And it looks like maybe they're going to take out, of course, we're into the next day already. Now, well, it's almost like, hey, you know what, we're going up, right? Of course, even, okay, we just nicked the high of the day right there. Tendency for them to pull it back now. This would be the confirmation entry if you're a breakout trader, because they broke it out. They pulled it back to this support here on the, right, this top became the bottom. Okay, now they took out the high. Now they could rip it back. It took out the high, and now it's just off to the races. Anyways, I don't know if that explains my strategy, but anyways, yeah, it's all I can think of. Yeah, I could go on forever about the market, and this is just a 15-minute chart.